Hello, everybody. I'm Hillary Howard. This is the opening round. You know how it works. Each team begins with 100 points. 10 up for a right answer, 10 down for a wrong answer. Contestants in the studio don't see what you do on the screens at home. Let's begin. Because you're all teenagers, you should enjoy these questions whose answers are all numbers ending in teen. Please identify the following teen numbers. There are this many holes on a regulation golf course. St. Anselm's.
18.
Yes. Franklin Pierce was this number. Chantilly.
14.
Yeah. This is the square root of 225. St. Anselm's.
15.
Yes. In 1791, Vermont joined the Union as this number. St. Anselm's.
14th.
Correct. The direct election of U.S. senators is mandated by this. Chantilly.
17.
Yes, 17th Amendment. You would have this many donuts if you bought a baker's dozen. Robert E. Lee.
12.
No, 13 in a baker's dozen. Oh. To the nearest whole number, this is the atomic weight of oxygen. St. Anselm's.
16.
Yes. This number is the first point in a tennis game. St. Anselm's.
15.
15 is right, and that is the end of the round. We'll be right back. It's academic. Now in its 59th year, and for over 50 years, sponsored by Giant Food. Let's meet the teams before we begin, and we start with Chantilly High School from Chantilly, Virginia. Thomas, tell us about yourself.
I'm a senior at Chantilly High School. I'm part of the debate team. I run cross country, and I participate in this academic, and I'm looking forward to a great competition.
Wonderful, us too, and you do a lot. Suhas, how you doing?
I'm good. Hi, I'm Suhas. I am part of the robotics team, and I would also like to thank Giant Food for their continued sponsorship of this program.
Woohoo, thank you, Giant. Without whom none of this is possible. And Emily, hi.
My name is Emily, and I'm a junior at Chantilly High School.
Okay, guys, the bell I've rung. Hidden in this musical phrase is the name of what large hepatic organ that secretes bile?
Liver?
Liver is right. Supercilious, supersonic, supersaturated. Which of these super words describes someone who is disdainful?
Supercilious?
Yes. North Pane. The letters in this phrase can be rearranged to name what ancient Greek temple still standing on the Acropolis in Athens?
Parthenon?
Yeah. Once upon a time, several seagulls sang, 3 old men. Which of these phrases can be described as an alliteration? Answer?
Seven seagulls sang.
That's it. Red Star over China. This book by Edgar Snow included a flattering portrait of what Chinese Communist Party chairman who led China till his death in 1976?
Mao Zedong?
You've got it. Nice job. Chantilly High School with 220 points. From Washington, D.C., St. Anselm's Abbey School. Frank, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is Frank. I'm a 17-year-old senior at St. Anselm's Abbey School.
Wonderful. Good to see you. And how are you doing, William?
Hi, I'm Will. I'm a 17-year-old senior at St. Anselm's. I'd like to thank our alternate, Brendan Martin Fervita, and our coach, Miss Dunleavy.
All righty. And Dash, good to see you.
Hi, I'm Dash. I'm a 15-year-old sophomore at St. Anselm's. I'd like to thank all the fans in the Panther, Aiden Wetterhand, for coming out to basically support us here. Apart from its academic, I'm also on the JV soccer team. I'm the head of the school theater club, and I do Model UN.
Wow. All right. Here we go. I feel so inadequate. Bet I deserve. You'll deserve 20 points if you find hidden in this phrase what ocean phenomenon that's affected by the moon's gravitational pull?
Tides.
Yes. Botonophobia, olfactophobia, hemophobia. You'd have a difficult time as a doctor if you suffered from which of these conditions, which is a fear of blood?
Hemophobia.
Yeah. Prime side. This phrase might suggest a cut of meat, but the letters can be rearranged to get what word, naming the outer layer of your skin?
Epidermis. Epidermis.
Correct. Geronimo, Uncas, Sitting Bull. Of these 3 Native Americans, which one is a fictional character from The Last of the Mohegans by James Fenimore Cooper?
Uncas.
Uncas is it. Up from Slavery. If you pick this book up, you'd be holding the autobiography of what founder of the Tuskegee Institute?
Booker T. Washington.
Washington. Booker T.
Washington is right. Nice. St. Anselm's with 250 points. From Springfield, Virginia, the gentleman from Robert E. Lee High School. Robin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, guys. My name is Robin Nguyen. I go to Robert E. Lee High School, and I would like to thank the admins and our friends and family for coming out today.
Awesome. Tony.
Hey, I'm Tony. I'm a 17-year-old senior from Robert E. Lee High School, and I'd like to thank Nick's dad, and Shazmina for coming out and supporting us.
Wonderful. And hiya, Shane.
Hi, I'm Shane. I'm a senior at Lee, vice president of FBLA. Love it there. And I'd like to thank our coaches, Mr. O'Brien and Miss Evans, for getting us where we are today.
All right, guys. Sob unsentimentally. You won't cry if you can find here the name of what German chemist who invented and named the common laboratory burner.
Bunsen.
Bunsen, yes. Uncouth, prosaic, despondent. Someone who is rude and ill-mannered can best be described by which of these adjectives?
Despondent.
Uncouth. No, sorry about that. Dye skin. Rearrange the letters in this phrase, and you'll name what nephritic organs of the body that filter out waste products from the blood. Answer is?
Kidneys.
Yep, kidneys is right. Yorktown, Chattanooga, Brandywine. The closing battle of the American Revolution took place at which of these sites?
Yorktown.
Yes, to Yorktown. On the revolutions of the celestial spheres. Published just before his death in 1543. This was the work of what Polish astronomer who stated that the Earth revolves around the sun? Answer?
Kepler.
No, I'm so sorry, it was Copernicus. But good job, Robert E. Lee with 150 points. That's the end of the round. It's time for the Picture Perfect round. Questions are worth 20 points up or down. Are you ready? Here we go. England's Elizabeth II was crowned in 1953 amidst great pomp in what historic London Abbey? St. Anselm's.
Westminster.
Yeah. These pot-bellied pigs are named for what Southeast Asian country? St. Anselm's.
Vietnam.
That's right. This ancient mosaic was found in Motia, an ancient city near what largest Italian island? St. Anselm's.
Sicily.
Sicily it is. On a Cartesian plane, what's the length of the line segment connecting St. Anselm's? 10 is correct. There is nothing peaceful about this scene depicting the 1779 fight in which Hawaiian natives killed what St. Anselm's?
Cook.
I'm sorry?
Cook.
Yes, James Cook, very good. This stone crop plant shares its name with what river that merges with the Monongahela at Pittsburgh?
The Allegheny?
Yeah, that is right, Robert E. Lee. Orchids are naturally pollinated by certain bees, and what smallest of all birds? Chantilly.
Hummingbird?
Yeah, the beautiful hummingbird. This is a copy of what 1862 congressional act that promised free federal land to settlers in the West. Chantilly.
Homestead.
Homestead is it. Nice. That is the end of the round. You know, it takes a lot to be on It's Academic, so let's meet the teachers, coaches, and administrators who help prepare the students for today. We begin with Chantilly High School. Who's with you, Suhas?
Our coach, Miss Kincarameth, is with us, and she teaches Latin 1, 2, 3, 4, and AP.
Great. So nice to have you. From St. Anselm's, William, who's with you guys today?
We have our coach, Miss Dunleavy, who is also our school librarian.
Lovely. Nice to see you. And from Robert E. Lee, Tony, who's with you?
We have Mr. O'Brien and Miss Evans.
It's great to have you. Okay, it's the packet round, which means that Chantilly is going to answer questions from one of these fine packets first. St. Anselm's will get to choose which packet they answer questions from.
2.
2. All right, definitively said. And if you get them all right, there's a 25-point bonus, as you know. Questions are worth 20 points. The discovery that one nostril can learn from the other, this is true, means that some olfactory learning occurs in what organ that includes the cerebrum?
Brain.
Yeah. One U.S. state that once had its own navy is what large southwestern Lone Star state?
Texas.
Yes, it's Texas. For centuries, the Phoenix throne was occupied by rulers of a kingdom now divided into what North and South countries with capitals at Seoul and Pyongyang?
Korea.
That's it. Here's your science question. Which of these terms refers to a structure that permits selective permeability between an animal cell and its surroundings?
Cell membrane.
That's right. The 19th century capitalists who owned the New York Tribune newspaper once hired what man who, with Friedrich Engels, wrote the Communist Manifesto?
Karl Marx.
That's it. Listed by the American Film Institute as one of the best science fiction movies of all time is what 1968 film based on a novel by Arthur C. Clarke?
2001: A Space Odyssey.
That is it. Here's your math question. Evaluate this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer.
4.
Yeah. In 1692, the notorious pirate Henry Morgan was appointed military governor of what Caribbean island whose capital is now Kingston?
Jamaica.
Woohoo! 25-point bonus for Chantilly. St. Anselm's is up. Robert E. Lee, what packet? 1 or 3?
1.
1. Okay. Got to take it out. It's sticking. There we go. Sorry for the delay. There it is. Okay. According to one recent study, the safest city in the world is what capital of Japan?
Tokyo.
Yeah, that's right. Wrong team. St. Matthew advises men to be both wise as serpents and harmless as what birds of peace?
Doves.
Yeah. You'll never get a sinking feeling swimming in what Middle Eastern Sea on the Israel-Jordan border because it's almost 10 times saltier than the
The
ocean.
Dead Sea.
Yeah, it's so cool to float in. Here's your science question. When a bean seed germinates, it derives its food for growth principally from which of these sources?
Cotyledons.
Yep, that's it. Presidential hopeful Daniel Webster never got to give an inaugural address, but he did make a famous speech supporting the compromise named for what year?
1850.
That's it. The sailors in Homer's Odyssey might have squealed in dismay about their transformation by Circe into what sort of animals?
Pigs.
That's it. Math question. Please express this sum as a monomial in terms of I.
Wait, 8i.
Yeah, that's right. The Golden Isles of Guale was the same name. I'm so sorry, let me do that again. The Golden Isles of Guale was the name Spanish explorers gave the sea islands of what southern state colonized by James Oglethorpe?
Georgia.
Woohoo again! Another 25-point bonus for St. Anselm. And that leaves packet number 3 for Robert E. Lee. Guys? Ernest Hemingway once jokingly claimed that Mount Kilimanjaro was the home of what mythical horse-like animal with one horn on its head?
The unicorn.
Yeah. First and second place Olympic stars win gold and silver medals. But those who finish third get medals of what alloy of copper and tin?
Bronze.
Bronze is right. A warming climate is causing huge chunks of ice to break off the glaciers on what largest island that holds 10% of the world's ice?
Antarctica.
Nope, it's Greenland. Here's your science question. The phrase low viscosity refers to which of these?
Physical property.
That's it. A collector paid $1.7 million for 2 globes once owned by what 16th century Flemish cartographer who gave his name to a map projection?
Mercator.
Mercator is right. The war commentaries were World War II radio reports by what author who later made the date 1984 a catchphrase for totalitarianism?
George Orwell.
Yep. Here's your math question. Solve for X.
0.
Yes. Rock paintings over 10,000 years old have been found in a cave located south of what capital city of Peru? And the answer is?
Buenos Aires.
Nah, Lima. Same continent, but that's it. Nice, Robert E. Lee. 290 points. Okay, time for the grab bag round where anything can happen. Questions are worth 20 points up or down, 30 points for the visual questions. Before we jump in, let's recap the scores. Chantilly, 445. St. Anselm's, 535. Robert E. Lee, 290. As you know, questions in this round are worth 20 points, 30 points up or down for the visual questions. John Roebling is best remembered as the designer of what famous New York suspension bridge? St. Anselm's.
Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah, the beautiful Brooklyn. Scottish scientists have found that global warming is shrinking the size of what ovine animals? Chantilly.
Shell?
No, sheep or lambs. The U.S. Marine Corps monument depicts the Mount Suribachi flag raising. St. Anselm's.
Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima, it is. On your screens for 30 points. In 1911, a fire destroyed what shirtwaist factory? Chantilly.
Triangle
Yep,
shirtwaist?
the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory down in Greenwich Village. Listeners reacted warmly when President Franklin Roosevelt broadcast a series of radio chats with what? Robert E. Lee?
Fireside chat.
You've got it, fireside chats. Choice. The number of electrons that are allowed in the P subshell by the Pauli exclusion principle. Chantilly.
3?
No, 6. One collector paid $3,000 for an original sketch of the character Max from what children's book by Maurice Sendak? St. Anselm's.
Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, on your screens for 30 points. The powder keg of Europe. Robert E. Lee.
Gunpowder?
No, Balkan. We were looking for the peninsula. Astronaut Alan Bean walked on the moon as part of what number Apollo mission? The second Expo.
11?
Nope, it was 12. Sorry. If a line segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle measures 8 inches, what is the length of the third side of the triangle? St. Anselm.
16.
16 is right. This fall, residents of Colorado can witness, hopefully at a distance, the annual migration of what T-initialed arachnids? St. Anselm's.
Tarantulas?
Tarantulas, yeah. Oof. On your screens for 30 points. Depicted in the middle of this stained glass window is what classical muse associated St. Anselm's? Answer?
Sorry, no answer.
It's terpsichore, known with dance, associated with dance. If they can do it, Facebook would like to create their own cryptocurrency named for what zodiac sign of the scales? St. Anselm's.
Libra.
Yes. Although Americans resisted the rule of George III, we continue to honor George's wife in the name of what largest North Carolina city? St. Anselm's. Charlotte it is. Mr. Bucket is a detective who cleans up the mystery in what Charles Dickens novel about a residence with a depressing name? The answer is Bleak House. The Chief is the title of a recent biography of what man? The current Chief Justice of the United States. Chantilly.
John Roberts?
John Roberts is right. Rather than dancing with the stars, poet William Wordsworth said his heart was dancing St. Anselm's.
Daffodils.
Daffodils, yeah. The full-length painting of George Washington in the White House is the work of what artist whose unfinished portrait of Washington is on the one? Anselm's.
Leutze?
Nope, Gilbert Stuart. Although it stretches for fewer than 100 miles, what river does flow through the town of Stratford, Shakespeare's birthplace? St. Anselm?
Avon?
Yep, Stratford-on-Avon, correct. Bram Stoker's novel Dracula both begins and ends in what Romanian province? Chantilly.
Transylvania.
Transylvania, yes. While we think of Ferdinand and Isabella, as rulers of Spain, they actually ruled the kingdoms of Aragon and St. Anselm. Castile is right, and that's the end of the game. And now the scores are official. We begin with Robert E. Lee High School from Springfield, Virginia. Robin, Tony, and Shane, 260 points. From Chantilly, Virginia, Chantilly High School, Thomas Suhas and Emily with 475 points. And coming back for the playoff, the team that just monopolized the buzzer and got it right, St. Anselm's Abbey School with 685 points. Well done, guys.